Welcome, everyone. I know a few more of you will be filtering in, but we're going to crack on. Time is money, and the essence, as always. Welcome to the AIXR VR Awards AMA series. This evening, we are talking with Goncalo Antunes from Masters of Pi. They were winners of the VR Enterprise Solution of the Year 2021 with their Radical SDK. But this was with a consortium of partners, and Goncalo is going to tell us a little bit more about that. My name is Sam Watts. I am chair of the Enterprise XR Advisory Group, part of AIXR. It's a pleasure to be here this evening with Goncalo. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about this award-winning work. And at the end, you'll have a chance to get the mic and put your own questions to Goncalo. I believe we're going to have some slides and some videos, so it's not just going to be chatter. Yep. And you may hear some next slide, please. Anyway, Goncalo, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me. So my name is Goncalo Antunes. I'm the marketing lead for XR at Masters of Pi. Masters of Pi, it's a software company based in London, in the UK, and we specialize in developing extended reality solutions for the enterprise market. We have a product. It's an SDK called Radical. That integrates with enterprise software applications, allowing these applications to have two things. One, it's real-time collaboration, meaning that you don't need to export data to collaborate in real time with another coworker, but also enhances these applications with AR and VR capabilities. And it's more or less this is the core of the solution that we have developed for Hyperbat, which I will explain very shortly. This is who we are, and this is what we do. So let's kick off. I prepared sorry.
No, carry on. I was just saying congratulations on your win. You're, obviously very welcome to be here as your winners. So you have earned your spot on the stage.
Well, thank you. Yeah, without further ado, because when we have submitted for the award of the VR Enterprise Solution of the Year, we had to provide information about the project, the solution, etc. For juries. We didn't have the opportunity yet to show that to a wider audience or to the public, and I'm going to overview a bit of what were the challenges and the solutions that we've designed, and how we have tackled the problem. And I think it's for me it's very interesting to see, and I'm really happy to share with a wider audience. So kicking off. What is Hyperbat, and what are the other companies or team of companies? So Hyperbat is a joint venture between Unipart and Williams Advanced Engineering, and they are specialized in developing chassis for electric vehicles. So the way this works, it's Williams Advanced Engineering, which is the engineering side of Williams Formula One. They bring their design and their engineering expertise, and Unipart provides the engineering expertise. So they are two separate companies. In different locations, and they had a problem. And the problem was they had to hand over. Well, they are geographically distant, apart from other things, but I think the main problem is that they are in two completely different cities in the UK, And how do you manage this relationship between two enterprise customers effectively? So next slide, please. So this was just an overview of the camp of Masters of Pi. We can move on. So something that I always like to start our presentations or our keynotes with, it's how is the enterprise world or companies? What's the current stage of the enterprise companies? And what we see in the market, it's something that enterprise companies are trying to become digital first. And what I mean by this is that they are going through some sort of digital transformation. And digital transformation can have, as you can see here, like different layers. So you could be developing tools, improving processes, changing people's culture, adding new technology or new methods of production. But there's a common denominator here, which is data. And I think this is really important because it's something that I think it outstands our solution, but I think it's going to be the next step of immersive technology applied to the enterprise context, which is the ability to grab or have access to this underlying data information from the company or from the customer, and start and make immersive technology part of the process instead of being a siloed solution within the companies. So I think that's something really important, and I always try to pass this message, that data is the common denominator. Next slide, please. Yeah, so here you can see what we are calling now the enterprise metaverse, whatever metaverse means. But in the enterprise context, we see three things basically. You have immersive, you have immersive technology, you have digital twins, and you have collaboration, and you have like different types or sorts of enterprise data, like product lifecycle management data or PLM data, GIS, which is geospatial, architecture or building architecture and construction data, IoT, and healthcare. But these data or these data sets, they are enabled by what we call technology enablers. So it's like technology and solutions that enterprise companies are already applying, and that immersive technology can take advantage of. And some of them were applied in this solution that we have developed for Hyperbat, naming 5G, cloud streaming, edge computing, and server-side rendering. Next slide, please. So what was the challenge? As I was telling you guys earlier, the challenge was that you have a design team or a design company, a design engineering company that it's based in one city in the UK, and then you have your manufacturer that it's located in a different part of the UK. So our main challenge here was to bring together geographically dispersed teams in order to improve the design handover. And by
Have we lost you, Goncalo? Oh no! Goncalo obviously not on his 5G connection. Okay. We will wait for Goncalo to return. I believe he may have just had there. I can get a quick raise of hands who's done any work with anything 5G orientated so far. No one? Raise a hand of who's working in the immersive technology space currently, who's working with any AR or VR technologies. One. I assume the rest of you are here at least interested in immersive technology can bring to enterprise. Are you interested in technology or working with organizations or within your organization? Are you a technology champion? MSQ Chris, what are you doing? What are you? Oh, here's Goncalo coming back. Oh,
Sorry,
the stage.
Guys, technical as usual.
If you'd just like to re-put yourself on amplify voice, that'd be great.
Yep. Sorry, guys. Yeah, as I was saying, so our main challenge was to overcome the fact that these two teams were geographically dispersed. But another challenge was to take advantage of that underlying technology, and use that to deliver an immersive experience to the factory floor. Next slide, please. Yeah. So typically, this is the design. This is the product lifecycle management process that companies that manufacture products typically go through. And what we have identified is that whenever you have a decision making or a decision to make within the process, or to hand over the process to the next stage, that's typically a good opportunity for people to develop XR collaboration solutions, because that minimizes the error and fast tracks the process and the efficiency. Next slide, please. So this is very important here, because so this was the challenge that we have identified, and it's funny because we started by seeing this or identifying this in the automotive industry, where this use case was developed or applied. But it's something that, since we have developed this, and through many discussions with other customers or companies across different sectors, so like aerospace, defense, manufacturing, etc. This is something that this is a figure that we are starting to see which is very common. Is that the decisions that you make during the design of a product, they materially influence the product costs. And what we have identified is that 70% of your product costs are made or derived from decisions made during the design process. So basically, the earlier you are in the design stage, the better or the more chances you have on having positive influences on the product attributes, which will decrease product costs in the long run, not only on the production side of things, but also on the maintenance and returns and customer satisfaction, etc. All that kind of stuff that companies care about. Next slide, please. So, what was the end-to-end? So the end-to-end solution was basically each company part of the consortium. So British Telecom, Ericsson, Qualcomm, Nvidia, and Masters of Pi. We have provided different enabling technologies or different technologies to build this end-to-end solution. So starting with the 5G BT developed or enabled or provided a 5G spectrum, a millimeter wave spectrum, which is not currently available in the UK. It's available or commercially available in the United States, but that's where some of these applications or these solutions have been tested in lab. So we wanted to replicate this in a real scenario. Ericsson provided a state-of-art 5G private network. So it's an antenna installed in on the factory floor that allows you to communicate, that allows you to deploy a 5G connectivity on site. NVIDIA provided their cloud streaming solution, Cloud XR, which probably many of you are familiar with. So, in essence, it's the ability to render heavy data or 3D applications in the cloud and stream that to a headset, AR or a VR headset. And Qualcomm provided a reference design VR headset with a 5G enabled chipset. So it's a reference design. And again, because this was developed because the lab tests were done in the US, we decided to test this with a millimeter wave. Now the question, probably one of the questions that I have a lot. It's okay. It's very funny, but why didn't you start with a augmented reality use case? Well, simply because there are no augmented reality headsets with a 5G chip in the market yet. So we have to start somewhere, and that's why we have decided to start with VR, even though we are solving a real life scenario and problem for the company. Next slide, please. So very quickly, what we do is, so Radical as an SDK allows real-time collaboration and 3D visualization of that 3D data. But but because it's integrated with the enterprise application, so in this case it's a CAD software called NX from Siemens. Because Radical is deeply integrated with NX, it allows you to go immersive with one click, so you don't have to export your CAD data into a standalone application, which is something very useful for companies that are or enterprise companies that are very picky about their security protocols. They don't want to see their data moving from applications. They want to keep everything under their walled gardens. But also allows real-time collaboration. So what we had here was the designing team in Williams was connecting or going immersive using the CAD software. The guys in Unipart doing the same thing, so could collaborate using an immersive experience. Next slide, please. So what I'm going to show you, it's actually a testimonial from the customer, and it's something that we really struggled to film this last year because of COVID restrictions. So the factory didn't allow any external personnel on site. So only only in December, luckily before the Omicron outbreak started, we were able to go on site and record record the solution in action. So Adam, if you could show the video from Vimeo, that would be great. so this is the CAD application. This is the battery, and you click and you go immersive. And
5G-enabled VR headset combined with the Masters of Pi singular digital thread solution in creating that flexible environment between manufacturing and engineering teams, independent of where they are, to a synchronized review that can help us to shorten the new product introduction process, and also to enable Hyperbat to deliver an effective and seamless concurrent engineering manufacturing as we are scaling up with the number of customers that we're going to deal with in the next coming years. The Hyperbat 5G solution lays the foundation for the factories of the future. It validates the ability of enabling technology to deliver XR solutions covering larger distances. This will allow companies to break free of the handcuffs of existing spaghetti network and move towards a wireless experience. Anything, anywhere, as long as you have the parts and connected tools. As it drastically simplifies the network infrastructure and paves the way to faster, more modular, cost-effective adoption of technological innovation on a factory-wide basis.
So just to wrap up, because there are many some benefits here. One as Hussein mentioned is the fact that with 5G on the factory floor, you're not only able to connect more devices. So IoT is going to become like a thing if it's not already a thing. But also it's funny because I think it's a benefit that people don't talk a lot, which is the fact that you're not constrained anymore to have machines in a particular location, because 5G will allow you to modulate and change the factory layout according to your needs or according to the product that you are going to manufacture. So I think that's really powerful, and it's not like I would say a direct or a straightforward benefit, but I think it's very powerful on the solution side of things. So what does connecting people or geographically dispersed teams from different locations? It's the fact that you have sorry, I lost my line of thought, but it's the fact that the process, because you're connecting. It's a fact that the process, because you're connecting two different companies, they don't have the same systems, so you have to find ways of doing the handover more efficiently. So that's something that it's also going to be a direct benefit for Hyperbat. So for the next stage, so we have developed this, we have validated the solution. Next stage, or the next step, will be to develop AR use cases for the factory floor, but using this technology as an underlying basis, and start to do things like remote expert assist with real-time data, robotic simulation, factory simulation, and so on. But I think this was like a quick overview, or thank you for listening me. I think I've been talking for a lot. I would love to welcome and hear your questions. Sorry.
That's great. Thank you, Goncalo. So did it start off as like a native app where you were bringing data in and compiling it, or from the offset, did you know that you wanted as part of building your radical SDK?
Sam, sorry, the connection.
Did you always, from the onset, did you know that you wanted to be able to stream data in, or did you try using local data and you quickly ran out of headroom and bandwidth and performance, and you knew that you had to use these cloud solutions to stream the level of complexity of the models? Was it like a threshold where you just like, this isn't working, let's move to the cloud?
Yes, because so one of the thing is, you have, as we had as we saw that there are a lot of design iterations during the design process, and plus adding the fact that or that companies like Hyperbat and many others are going through a digital transformation process where they are migrating their software and their workflows to the cloud. We thought it would be the best of both worlds to connect these two things.
So the SDK, are you expanding it beyond just the Siemens NX tool at the moment? Are you talking with get your tool into it as part of the default offering?
Yeah. So I think one of the I don't want to turn this into a sales pitch, but I think one of our differentiators is the fact that the SDK is modular, meaning that we don't care about the data that it's underneath. We don't care about the application. We are able to do that integration, but more importantly, is to provide the real-time collaboration aspect or functionality to enterprise software or to, let's say, immersive applications that have already been developed. Let's say that you have like a VR training application and you think it would add value to that solution to make it real-time collaborative. Radical can do that.
Right.
Or to use for different use cases. For instance, something that we are working at the moment, it's a use case for in the defense industry, where we are using Radical as the same technology, but we are solving something completely different, like for planned missions, for instance. So we came from this engineering side of things as a starting point, but in our journey we are seeing that real-time collaboration in immersive, it's something that can be applied in many different use cases and many different solutions and softwares.
And how was it working with reference design headsets that aren't necessarily, standardized? Did you have to work with, is your tool built in C# or C++? Unity based, or did you have to get special builds to have support for it?
I think so. So Radical, the basis of Radical are C# and C++. So I think we have embedded we haven't developed anything particular for the headset. What we found that the headset as a reference design, it's not very ergonomic or user friendly. But what we were, I think the main point was to try to test the chipset in a hostile environment as a factory is, and that performed like really, really well. We were overwhelmed by the fact that like behind iron walls or structures and really strong cement and building materials, you'd actually could deliver an immersive experience, a wireless immersive experience. Sorry.
And I noticed in the video they had like some kind of wristband on their elbows. Was that part of the reference design for the tracking?
Yeah.
Right.
It was to improve the tracking of the of the motion of the controllers. But I haven't I didn't play a lot with that reference design. I must be honest with you. Just but from my experience, he was hello.
Sorry, my
there you are.
Connection seems to be a bit funny now. So it was just the challenges of COVID. You mentioned there, obviously not being able to get together to make the video, obviously one of the benefits of having dispersed teams and remote collaboration is the fact that you can carry on working normally. But the irony is when we have to get together to make videos to show off the tools and the products, it becomes difficult. I did notice as well. I mean, I'm a big fan of a 3D cutaway. I would love to be able to have a play with the tool, just being able to play and cut away with that 3D through the 3D asset. What kind of level of detail is in that asset? How heavy is it in terms of polys?
It depends on well, it depends on the CAD model. Or on this particular one, like for public demonstrations, we're not allowed to show the full CAD. So what we saw here, it's something that it's acceptable to be publicly demonstrated. But we have done tests. We have done tests with heavier models, like for a different project. But we in a different company, we have used like a full part engine of an airplane. Like I'm talking a CAD file with 120,000 parts. It's something that just to load the CAD file takes like more than 1 hour. So it's like it's huge, trillions of polygons. It's something huge. And sectioning, what I think from a design point of view, like the ability for you to design a product and just put a VR headset and see that in a spatial, like in a spatial context. And also the ability like to scale the models, like going beyond human scale, like 10 times or 20 times human scale. It gives you a level of granularity that it's impossible for you to spot like those details in a flat screen. It's simply impossible. So I think immersive becoming part of the design process. I think it's immersive, like especially VR. I think it's gonna become invaluable, like for design. But
Sure.
I'm happy to demonstrate that one of these days to you, like a proper model with with CAD. We can sort that out, definitely.
In terms of the was it millimeter wave? Did you say the type of 5G that we don't have here yet? I assume maybe that's because we kicked out Huawei, but is that coming? Something that's going to be available? Do you know? We had BT, we saw BT and Ericsson being partnered there. So is that something that they're working to bring to enterprise and to industry?
Not that I don't. To be honest, I don't know if they have that on the pipeline. What I know is that even the 4G that we are, or sorry, the 5G that we are implementing here in the UK, which doesn't use the millimeter wave, use like another part of the spectrum. It allows, for instance, just for reference, you're allowed, like, you will be able to connect like up to 1,000 devices, IoT devices, through the UK 5G infrastructure, without losing performance. So the level of data and the level of data that this is going to generate, plus I think the products and services that we can take advantage of this data to create, I think it's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, and in terms of your test, you were probably just limited by the number of reference headsets you had at each location in terms of the load and the number of people you could have in simultaneously. Or have you been able to do a test in terms of 20, 5, 10, 20, 100 people or whatever?
Not in this particular case, because typically that's not how a design review process works. They usually have
Right.
like 2-3 guys in one room. They can be like in one room and on the other side of the company as well. So you might have like up to 6 people, and the ability for you to stream to browser, the VR headset doesn't like allows also to people to join that session, that immersive design review, without having to put an headset on. Now,
Right.
what I think, and I really like your question, because I think it opens a bit like the promises of these solution, is the fact that VR, it's typically an heavier streaming solution than AR. So VR, we are talking about like 90 frames per second. Like, you don't need that level of visibility in AR, which holds the promise that most likely you will be able to connect more devices to the to the 5G private network without losing latency and without losing latency and quality of speed.
Sure. Just a quick reminder to the audience, I guess some of us have already had connection issues as well, but if you do have a question, feel free to use the raise your hand feature on the right hand side, and then I can virtually pass you the mic if you have a question for Gonçalo. Whilst I just keep an eye out for those, let's just talk a little bit about the actual process of submitting and the award process. Was it your first time submitting to the VR awards?
Yes, it was our first time. We are
the physical version right there.
Yeah. It took, funny again, like when this was delivered through the Christmas or after Christmas holidays, but we weren't allowed to go in the office, so it took me like probably a month to see the award live. But yeah, it was the first time that we have applied, so like in reality we became like a member of the academy last year, but we believe as a company that being part of this type of communities, you only get the value that you put in. So it's like from the very beginning, like we have been trying to be as engaged as possible with the enterprise advisory group, for instance. But for this particular award, it was challenging because we had to we had to submit like in the old school way, meaning that we could like we had footage of the solution working, but we didn't have footage of the context of the factory for people to actually see it working. So it required like probably a bit more of a of thought process in terms of writing of writing a compelling use case and the submission. If we had the time to record this on the factory in first hand, it would be easier for us. But it's something that I really encourage. I'm not sure if members here of the audience are part of the ARXR, but I think it's a great opportunity for everyone if you're developing like an enterprise solution, or if you're developing a game or something different, but using AR or VR technology. It's a great way to showcase, and I think this is more of a community. I really like the community aspect of the industry, at least until now. I can't complain. I think everyone has been supportive, like giving feedback and etc. So yeah, I couldn't recommend more. Submit your projects.
And were you able to attend the actual ceremony itself? Were you the one who got up on stage to accept the award virtually, as it were?
Yeah, I did. I was.
Did you get lost in the whole Trippy Worlds journey experience leading up to that?
Well, it's a funny thing because, personally, I think now I'm getting better. But when I was a kid, I was very clumsy. And joining here and attending the ceremony on that day, I had loads of internet internet issues, and it's funny because I was attending here the ceremony. Like I got lost in the middle of the puzzles to get to the stage. But funny thing was, like, I was in the room, and when the host announced that we had won the award, like, I was going on stage and my connection dropped. So I had to, and I was watching it via stream on YouTube. So I was at the same time. So I was connecting to the with my phone. So I was connecting on alt space again, running to come back to stage, and I was like hearing the host. Is someone here from Masters of Pi? Oh no. Oh, it's sad. Carry on. I'm like, no, I'm here, please. It was a funny one. But yeah, I think, to be honest, I think it was the first time that I've attended like an immersive event, and I really enjoyed. And yeah, I think it's something that I took the opportunity again to be here on stage, but now with less issues, even though I had one. But yeah, it's something that I think it brings events and like communication with other people in a different way, and I think it's very powerful.
Well, I asked the question in our last enterprise advisory group. It's like, why aren't we meeting in VR?
Yeah.
We typically meet over Zoom, so perhaps we can have our next meeting here in alt space in these lovely AIXR designed space.
Yeah, I agree. That we should at least want some.
And then maybe we just have a Zoom window here for those who can't join us. Maybe.
Yeah.
I appreciate the audience has thinned out somewhat with the various connection issues. Are there any questions? There was a question earlier, but I think the person disappeared.
Can I have a job?
We have one here, yes.
How's employment?
Sorry, I'm just going to boost your voice up because I can't hear you very well. Where are we? I'll give you the megaphone. There you go. If you'd like to ask your question again, I've boosted your voice.
Oh yeah, question. Hello, how are you doing? Very impressive award ceremony. Thank you very much for the presentation. And I was just wondering, how is your businesses expanding? Are you always doing these?
Yeah, like I think our objective as a company, as Masters. Well, I'll speak for Masters of Pi.
Expand or die, isn't it the motto? Expand, perish.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak for Masters of Pi. Yeah, we are.
In other award shows, would you be open to adding dance routines or some kind of entertainment?
Well, we're not actually involved with the organisation of the award shows, but
any particular dance that you would like to any particular dance that you would like to see on stage?
I could use a computer augmented AI to generate a particular dance.
Okay. If I can find to dance the tango, I'm open for it.
Yeah, nice. I don't know how it quite works here, but
it would be for the entertainment of the audience and the Zoom participators.
Yeah. Do you have any questions to do with the Radical SDK or Masters of Pi or AIXR in general?
cannot, for the life of me, come up with one.
Fair enough. Okay. Do you have any sort of closing comments in terms of was there a particular challenge that you struggled with as part of the integration, as part of developing the solution that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, I think it's I think the fact that I wouldn't say it was like a particular struggle, but the fact that we were using like disruptive technology or new technology in the market, like 5G, edge computing, and server side rendering, and immersive, of course. I think the fact that that combining these two things together, we weren't a bit unsure that like, okay, are we going to have issues like in terms of connectivity, plus deploying this like in a real life situation as a factory floor is. We were a bit certain it would work, but what I would like to stress out is the fact that, like, even though we were working with some of the largest companies in the technology space, I think everyone was eager to demonstrate the technology and the solution. So it was a pleasure, like, to see like the commitment and the effort from everyone. First to offer, let's say, or to put the solution up front, or the technology up front to develop the solution, but also like the ongoing work of fine tuning and deploying for instance, deploying the 5G private network, bringing the devices from the US, on our side, installing the CAD application, and making on both sides and making sure that everything was okay. Yeah, it was challenging, but again, I would like to stress out the fact that everyone committed for the success of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's often a big challenge in enterprise. Not in this scenario, but finding those stakeholders, finding those internal champions who believe in the technology, who are willing to go on that journey of innovation and deployment. And it sounds you've got a very impressive list of collaborators. They are technology partners who are clearly invested in this area already. So
yeah, but again, you just said something that it's absolutely right, which is enterprise organizations are so big that sometimes it's difficult to find the right champion, or to find the like internal sponsor that it's gonna take things up front. And we were lucky to meet the right kind of people in those organizations.
So moving forward beyond reference design, you can't rely upon that all the time. No. Are you looking at other devices, other headsets? Are there the devices coming that have got 5G mobile built in?
Not that at the moment I'm not aware of. I will be, I'll be attending next week the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. So I'm expecting, and I'm curious to see what are the next headsets on both, especially on AR. I'm really curious to see some of the AR stuff that it's coming out. And but yeah, the idea is to move from reference designs and to use markets or headsets that are in the market. But again, like there's always a balance there, because if you want to try to prove, like if you don't have devices that are enabled 5G enabled, for instance, how can you test the technology? So there's a balance there.
Sure.
But even though now that I think there are some intermediary solutions coming out in the market, like the ability to, for instance, the ability to connect or tether the headset to a mobile phone with a 5G connectivity. I think it's a good interim stage, and I think it's something that we will be testing definitely.
Yeah, and you had the Grid Factory as one of your collaborators, right?
Yeah,
I've seen them working with NVIDIA, streaming to Oculus Quest 2, for example. So, have you looked at that route at all yet?
No. So Grid Factory actually had a tremendous role here in the project, but as they come, I typically like they are a UK company, for those who don't know, and I think they are the masters. They have the masters of NVIDIA here in the UK. But we typically because they were so part of the team, I typically refer them as the NVIDIA people here.
Right.
But yeah, I've seen the work that they have done with with implementing the with Cloud XR. I haven't particularly seen that being used in Quest, but simply because I'm not I'm typically more focused on the software side of things. I typically look for on the software side of things, and then okay, how can I use? What are the devices that we can use in the market?
Sure. Excellent. Well, Goncalo, it's been great working with you. Fascinating to learn more about the project.
Thank you.
Congratulations again for winning the award this year, and look forward to seeing what is next from Masters of Pi. The projects you can talk about. And we thank our audience for joining us. We thank the internet for the disconnection issues, but we've found our way back to the stage. Keep track of the AIXR socials and the VR award socials. There are many more AMAs coming up for each of the rest of the award categories. I think this is the second one that's run so far. So there's many more to come, and a lot more to hear about. We have one more question.
What is
yes.
the date again, and what is it called in Barcelona?
Sorry?
That's WC, which was Mobile World Congress, and it starts on the 28th, I think, of next Monday.
Yeah, starts on Monday, next Monday.
Next Monday, you'll be there.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's see if COVID doesn't catch me in the meantime.
Or whatever's going on up north.
Yeah, I went a few years ago with when Nreal and HoloLens 2 was announced. It's a great event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Hopefully.
Will there be any web viewpoints into the conference?
I'm not. I'm not sure. But you can search. You can Google it. Mobile World Congress. They have a website, and you can. I'm pretty sure there might be some conferences that are free to view, but most likely, some of them are paid. I think you need to have a ticket. As far as I know, I might be wrong, but double check. Just search for Mobile World Congress.
It's over. Since I'm very interested in the AR sector as well, in the development and watching cyborgs walk through the streets and in cars.
Yeah, but it's still uploading, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is it just the camera? It's self-sustainable.
I imagine so. So running out of time, and Eliana has a question, so I'm just going to give the mic to her.
Hello.
You had your hand raised. Hi there.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. I'm sorry, I couldn't quite listen to the part where you were explaining. Did you use the solution with AR headsets, like with the HoloLens or the Magic Leap? And if so, how was the experience, or how did that work?
So for this particular project, no, we use the VR headset. So the ability, one of the challenges or one of the objectives of the project was to test many different technologies, and one of these technologies was 5G. So we wanted to test if it's possible to deliver 5G, to deliver an immersive experience via a hostile environment like a factory floor. And because there are no headsets or AR headsets in the market currently in the market with AR chip or with the AR with a 5G capability, we started with VR. But for other projects that Masters of Pi have been working on, we have not specifically in the manufacturing space. Yeah, we have been using HoloLens, HoloLens 2, and Magic Leap.
So another question. There was then explorations with WebXR.
With WebXR, we did with no, we used the Cloud XR for this solution.
Okay.
So what we wanted
browser view, does that have any WebXR built into it, or is that just how are you streaming to your browser view?
So for this particular project, we weren't streaming. So it was streaming to browser. So it was but Radical as an SDK, we use I think we have OpenXR, if I'm not mistaken. Use OpenXR for that. But again, I'm the marketing guy, so I might be. But yeah, if you want to follow up, like on a more technical side of things, I'm happy to do it. Just to know these things by heart. Oh, you're welcome.
Great. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. If you'd like to take your litter with you, bins are back in the foyer. We will see you back on stage for the next AMA. Not actually sure when the next one is. Sorry, Chris, if you're able to tell us if you're there.
Next week.
Next week we go. But keep an eye on the AOXR and VR Award socials for more details. Thanks for coming, and just see you next time.
Thank you.
I hope to speak to you all soon.
Thank you.